Welcome back, guys. Super excited. Dogecoin to the moon. What's up, YouTube community, and welcome to Invest Desk, your number one channel for investing in cryptocurrency, especially Dogecoin. My entire focus for this channel has been lately, for the most part, in fact, is Dogecoin with daily updates, news, and forecasts. My name is Syed, and I'm super excited to bring you another piece of exciting and breaking development. Well, it's long term, but still, it is something worth thinking about, worth taking a look at, worth considering, because this is the news about the Dogecoin developers, right? They're at it again. So what that means is something that we'll take a look at. So welcome to this channel once again. I did a stream yesterday, by the way, and that was kind of a thing where I did a stream on Dogecoin's being an inflationary design versus a deflationary design, and what I did was I kind of forgot to make it public, right? So hey, I posted it online so you can check it out yesterday, so I just uploaded that also. But today we're going to take a look at some exciting Dogecoin latest development, exciting updates that I'm going to share with you just shortly, and we're going to go through them a little bit in depth, because this is important, and the reason why it's important because it will definitely, pan out in the long run as far as the actual Dogecoin, prices and moving forward, the way it's moving forward is concerned. So welcome back to this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and of course, start to comment. Welcome. So yeah, let me get this out of the way. Perfect. And we are going to take a look at the actual news, see what's going on. And here's, by the way, the chart. There we go. So this is Dogecoin, but the current price is at 0.048, okay? And this particular price there was a huge dip, by the way, okay? Sunday afternoon, in fact, while I was streaming, I had to pause a little bit to buy some more, and I bought it at 0.40, 0.41 or 0.42 or something like that. The price kind of went down all the way, pretty low, right? So it was at 0.47, 0.45, something like that, okay? So right now the price is back up to 0.048. That's where it's at. So let's see if I can bring a full featured chart without the ads in there one more time. A little better. There we go. So let's take a look at the 1 day chart. There we go. This is the big dip that we had yesterday at 0.044, okay, something around there. So let me know how many of you actually bought at this price yesterday. All right, just put it in the comment. Let's see. Let me place my first comment here. Did you buy at the dip? Okay. And then of course we're going to talk about the news, the developer news, the breaking news that I'm going to cover here. Very important, in depth. Okay, but just kind of show you a chart quick before we talk about the developer news and what's going on with the developer end. I want to talk about the actual dip that occurred yesterday. Okay, and that was exciting because it went all the way down to 0.41 and then it just back up to 0.048, right about where the stabilization price is, because it has been steady about 0.05 or 0.055, right? That was the range for the entire week. We covered the entire week last, and we also took a look at the averages, the price average. So, and this was nice because these dips are extremely helpful when you're actually working with it. And now that the developers have started to work on this, okay, I'm going to talk about this news. I'm going to show you that as well pretty soon, just shortly here. But that impact of developers just rallying up again, right? You're waking up. They were sleeping right before, so well, not really exactly sleeping, but the idea is that this has started to gain momentum, and that's important. And look at the price. It's been stabilized right at 0.048. So the idea is that when Dogecoin is at this level, right? So look at the dip, look at the the fantastic dip it had, and then it went back all the way up. Okay, so if you had bought it at 0.04 at this lowest position, that would have been great. Okay, and let me see what the price was at this point. So 0.044, so it's at 0.048 right now. That's pretty neat. Okay, and this would just happen yesterday. That just happened yesterday, so it was cool. All right, so and of course this chart kind of shows you the position, which is neutral, right? So you buy, sell, you just kind of hold it steady, because the price has not been fluctuating for the entire week. So if you average it out, it's about the same thing, right? All right, so let's get to the news. I want to talk about the news itself, and let me bring up the news here. This is the GitHub page, by the way. So the latest version of Dogecoin core version is 1.14.3 and is available, by the way. And let me scroll down to the actual updates, right? So the notable changes, and of course what is happening with Dogecoin. So before I begin, make sure you hit the like button and the bell notification, because you are going to get the latest news and updates. And if you have been following me, by the way, yesterday for the last week or so, you would have bought it at 0.41, because there were several I got several inquiries, emails, and shares of asking, my followers asking, well, should we buy? And of course, I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but I do my research, and it's something that's been working out pretty nicely based on my own strategy and research for Dogecoin specifically. So a lot of we got together, and a lot of us bought at this lowest price, and of course we're about 5-10% up if you're pumping and dumping, but that's not the case. We are going to hold, right? This is going to the people's cryptocurrency, and I talked about this currency being an inflationary design. Okay, so in common words, or just easy layman language, what that means is that Dogecoin has unlimited supply, right? That's why the price is not volatile as compared to Bitcoin, which has a limited supply. So if Bitcoin has limited supply, that means the laws of economics, supply and demand, comes into action. What that implies that in 2040 Bitcoin is going to have all coins capped, right? So that means there are going to be no more Bitcoins after 2040. So the only play would be within this range, all right? Whereas Dogecoin is inflationary by design, so there's unlimited supply so far, right? Which means that there'll be more and more Dogecoins available and could be mined, and that's what one of the streams I did about 4 days ago regarding China. The largest company in China was already mining Bitcoin and started to mine Dogecoin, right? So there's some exciting development on that front, but let's take a look at the developer news, right? So that's what is happening with Dogecoin development. Okay, so developers for Dogecoin that started off as a meme-based cryptocurrency, right? But really has been adopted and has been growing at almost an exponential rate, right? And the developers announced Sunday evening, all right? This is just Sunday evening, yesterday, or just a little while ago, right? That they've released a new version of the protocol's core that promises improved synchronization speed and reduced default mempool expiry time. Okay, so that's one of the announcements that they did. So they are working on, or they have released this new version of the protocol's core, right? That improves synchronization speed, synchronization of transactions, right? So if you buy something in Dogecoin, it's going to be, of course, better, right? So they improve that speed, and of course reduce the default mempool expiry time. So that's super exciting, because the mere idea that the developers are actually now started to work on it, right? So, and that's what is happening at GitHub. So if you've not forked this code, by the way, and if you are into software development like I am, you can always take a look at this GitHub, or you can go to my profile page at GitHub and kind of fork it, or you can fork it right from here as well. But these developers, what they're doing is basically changing or developing the code, right? Making this product, making Dogecoin, trying to make it better. And this is exactly one of the first ones, right? So first, the notable changes reduce CPU usage during sync. So when loading the block headers to send to a peer network, right, across the blockchain, the block was revalidated by calculating its proof of work. Now, I know this is something that, it doesn't, you don't see it happening, in one day, in 2 hours, the changes and just, Dogecoin breaking out. But this is one of the big developments, right, that actually is taking Dogecoin to the next level pretty soon. And that's really what is happening, right? So, the idea is that we're in it for a long run, okay? So that's a given. We understand that Dogecoin is not as speculative due to its inflationary design as compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins. And I also covered yesterday, by the way, that MasterCard CEO, they have about 3-4 billion users, right, worldwide. MasterCard, that's the Visa card, MasterCard that you use, right, the credit card. The CEO of MasterCard is looking into a stable coin so that can be implemented within the MasterCard's purchasing, right? So that's another exciting super news, because now, what stable coin is out there. All right. Yeah. Leave a comment. Let me know what stable coin is out there. Guess what? It's Dogecoin, guys. This is the most stable, people's cryptocurrency, and that's where it's positioned itself, right? Unlike Bitcoin, unlike other coins. Okay. And again, this is inflationary design, so it's not gonna, go to $50,000 overnight. That'd be nice, but that's not gonna happen because of its design. Okay. So the concept of inflationary design of Dogecoin, or what these developers are doing, is basically the fact that it grows with the global economy, right? So it kind of ties into that. So Dogecoin to $1, yes, definitely. I see that happening in the future, and of course even a little more, $5, $7, just like currency, because this is something that's going to happen inevitably, right? Today, tomorrow, 6 months from now, 3 months, 5 months. Just wait. Just play it out, okay? And don't forget the strategy that we've been following: buy low, hold. That's what I've been talking about. That's what I'm doing myself. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but you want to do your own research and you want to make your own decisions. All right, so notable changes for Dogecoin developers, right? Reduce CPU usage during sync. So what they've done is, again, loading block headers to send to peer networks, the block was revalidated. So they revalidated the entire block, calculating its proof of work. Now, I talked about proof of work also. Okay, this is kind of important too, what this proof of work is. And let me see if I have what proof of work is. Bring that up so you can actually see. Just give me a second here. And by the way, if you've not subscribed, so welcome back to Invest Desk, your number one channel for crypto updates live. And you are going to, and I'm going to open this up here, see if I can quickly find it. Just give me a moment. There we go. So I'm going to talk about proof of work, right? Because Dogecoin uses proof of work algorithm. That's called the POW algorithm, okay? That Bitcoin also uses, but it capitalizes on putting in work. That means any computer can quickly calculate the hash itself, right? So there's nothing difficult about that. It just takes less than a second to compute a new hash. To make it more difficult to mine new blocks, the Dogecoin blockchain introduces a difficult property like Bitcoin blockchain, right? But now the generated hash must match the specific pattern according to that difficult property. So what does that all mean, right? In other words, the higher the difficulty, the fewer matching hashes are possible. Okay? So therefore, it takes longer to generate a hash that matches this particular difficulty. For that reason, and primarily for this reason, right, people refer to this algorithm as proof of work. Okay, that kind of makes sense, right? No big deal. But the idea is that Dogecoin developers, what they've done is they have come up with the development, the latest notable changes that they have come up so far, right? Is the block was revalidated by calculating its proof of work, which means the algorithm itself, right? So they revalidated the algorithm. It's just like when the car is sitting in the garage for a while, and then you're thinking, well, geez, this is not worth it. It's just going to sit there. It's going to get some rusty, right? All of a sudden, you open the garage and it's just a bright sunny day, and you take it out and you start to work on it. That's exactly what it is. Okay, that's exactly what developers are doing. So the first thing they did was in this new version that they released, which is version 1.14.3, right? And this is a minor version release. They reduced the CPU usage during sync. Okay, so this is expensive and led to a bottleneck in the sync process, where nodes were CPU rather than input-output bound in send blocks to the peers. And all block headers are already checked when they're accepted, and they will be checked again on receiving node. So what this basically means is that when you're actually transacting in Dogecoin, right, which the entire world would be. All right, so let's see. Someone subscribed. Awesome. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. Get those subscribes coming in, get those likes and comments. This is great, exciting news that we're talking about Dogecoin developers being at the code again, and they're just they're waking up and they're just at it. And what they've done is they made some notable changes, first to the CPU usage during sync, and that's what we're talking about. All right, and what that means, that this particular synchronization speed is going to improve, right? And it's going to reduce the default mempool expiry time. So that's what's going to happen. And in the long run, as Dogecoin gets accepted, right, by different companies, by different organizations, by even small time businesses, shops, right? You can buy your clothes, your shoes, or your grocery, or whatever it is, using Dogecoin, because this is going to be the people's currency moving forward. And this is the only currency that I know of, and there could be others too, but that is on the top ranking charts, number 14 on the chart, right? So far, that is a stable currency because of its inflationary design. And I covered that yesterday, by the way. Very, very important, guys. And developers know this, right? So developers have picked up on this. They have started to make the changes to the code, and that's the first minor release that they did. They reduced the CPU usage during synchronization of your input output, right? Your transaction or your blocks. Second thing that they did was they reduced the default mempool expiry time. Okay, so the mempool expiry time is basically from 336 hours to 24 hours. Okay, that's what it is. And what is the motivation? Is that while blocks are empty and unreliable TX are stuck in mempools for a long time and effectively locking UTXO for 2 weeks, right, until they can represent. So as this expectation is that the block space will not fully utilize in the foreseeable future, therefore, as long as in this case no valid transaction should ever live in the mempool. Okay, and that's exciting. That's another breaking news. And what basically the default mempool is why lengthen the expiry time, and that is the question that developer asked themselves, and then they want to see why they want to lengthen it, right, or shorten it. So they shortened it from 336 to 24 hours. Is that right? Yeah, 336 hours to 24 hours. That's what they shortened it at. Okay, and because exactly what you want when you're like, let's say your fees rise and your transaction gets stuck in limbo, is that's really for that limbo to last even longer, right? So the intention is what? The intention is to allow low fee transactions. which are not confirming, basically to keep trying a bit longer and go through where there's less congestion. Okay, that's what the mempool idea and the concept is all about. So yeah, hit the like button. Welcome back. Make sure you subscribe. Super exciting news we're talking about. The developers making changes to the code and releasing a minor version. So we're talking about excuse me, just imagine like someone hooking up to a rebroadcast computer to the network that echoed 6-day-old transaction to get them back into the mempool, right? So you're getting the idea, the importance of mempool and what the developers did, and that's what is happening right now. Okay, so in any type of system that depends on congestion, by the way, traffic for its operation is fundamentally inhuman, right? And if it is developed by people, they have no concern about human users. So this is going to be more and more easier for the actual users. Okay, all right, so hope this kind of makes sense, right? So that's the another development that they've done, reduce the default mempool expiry time. Now, of course, this default setting can also be overridden. You could do that with this parameter, but the first change was reduce CPU time, right? Improve, and then reduce the default mempool expiry time. And now you know what that is, because how that affects the transactions moving forward. And of course, the third thing that they did was increase block download timeouts. Okay, so block download timeouts are simply expressed as a multiple of block intervals, such as Dogecoin block download times were relatively aggressive, leading to a higher number of timeouts, right? So improved the block download timeouts. Increase the timeouts would be more flexible to real world conditions, guys, real world conditions, right? So where are these developers, right, taking Dogecoin? We know exactly, right? That's what's happening. This is going to be people's currency. It's going to be accepted by institutional across the globe, by companies, by shops and whatnot. Okay, so, and that's exactly what is happening with Dogecoin. So, and developers say, by the way, that they've significantly improved, of course, the speed, right, node that can upload blocks by removing expensive integrity checks that were performed each time one block is sent to another block. So that's really what is happening. And also, by the way, the new core that we just talked about also cut the default time that transactions are cached in the mempool, and I talked about that, explained that, okay, from 336 hours to 24 hours. Now, of course, initially Doge, which was released as a meme coin, as a joke back in 2013, periodically had grabbed the crypto buying public imagination. Well, maybe it's a good coin, maybe it's not. Well, it's just a joke, it's not going to work. Until Elon Musk kind of backing it up and getting serious about it. The entire crypto space is getting serious about it, or has gotten serious about it. Public awareness is getting out there. Institutions, companies, enterprise companies are getting out there. So, and that's really what is happening. So recently, the coin has become part of the crypto, mainstream after capturing, of course, Elon Musk as big supporter. Tweeting about Dogecoin and actually literally putting Dogecoin on his rockets. By the way, this was yesterday's news too. I'm going to cover this also, but that's what he did. So literally, he put it on the moon, right, on his rocket, Dogecoin. So the idea is that yes, there are massive support is being developed for Dogecoin, and recently we saw that yesterday. We saw the dip in Dogecoin, but it back up to its level at 0.05 or 0.048 and kind of stretching itself back to the same stabilization price levels, right? Which in turn, by the way, since the last week, it's been very stable. It's positioned to go higher, maybe break out. So yeah, watch out for that. We'll cover that next week. So make sure you hit the bell notification to get subscribed every time I stream. And of course, we do this every day. And I thank you so much for your support. You've been lovely. You've been great. And in the most recent run-up, Doge, by the way, moved well up into the top 10 list of the most valuable cryptocurrencies with a market cap of more than 10 billion, overtaking much more serious coins. Okay, and of course, after a while, Doge has given back to a lot of those gains. It's well ahead where it had fallen in the past. It's still the 14th most valuable crypto with a market cap of a little over 6 billion, okay, or even higher, and per coin price of just under 5 cents. And again, I for the entire last week I've been saying this, guys, it's undervalued. That's what my take on this is. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research, but this is one of those things that I've been moving as we move forward. So definitely this is something to watch out for. Okay, so that increase in price, by the way, incentivize developers. That's why they're developing. The developers are saying, well, geez, wait a minute, this is super exciting, this is something serious, this is actually happening, right? So these developers have just released this minor update, and we talked about a couple of important ones. And the developers are now going to make the technology underpinning that adorable Shiba Inu dog, right? That's the logo. That's Dogecoin, right? More robust. Not just the meme coin, not just a joke anymore, guys. This is an actual currency that's going to be developed into a much robust type by these developers, right? Even though people say, well, a joke, but they were very careful to take care of the code, right? The code was still there. It's still there. You see it. This is right here is the code. That's the code. You can go to GitHub, and that's the release. So if I open this up, I'm going to quickly show you this. This is the Dogecoin Core 1.14.3. Okay, you can take a look at the issues. You can take a look at the pull requests of what's happening. Again, if you're a developer, if you are into this, you would know exactly. Okay, but if not, just understand that developers have started to work on it. Okay, and again, this new minor update that includes important performance improvements. So why are these developers improving the performance? They're making this product more robust. They're making Dogecoin more robust. Just getting ready, okay? Just getting ready for it to be implemented and accepted as people's currency all across the globe. They are going to work on this, and they have started to work on this, and they've come up with their releases, okay? All right, so improving synchronization speed. We talked about that. It significantly improves the speed at which the node can upload blocks by removing expensive integrity checks, right? We talked about that. We talked about the reducing default mempool expiry time. Other changes and improvements that the developers did: increase the block down timeout. We talked about briefly on that too. Add size on disk parameter, right? All these different parameters they're adding. Add query options to the remote procedure call, RPC calls, right? And so forth. So the idea is that they've taken this rusty code, taken a look at this code, and then they're just going at it big time, and that's super exciting. Okay, so that's one of the updates for the developers. So welcome back, guys. Appreciate your support. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, and of course the bell notification. So let's take a look at some comments. Let's see what's coming up. Do I have comments here somewhere? Where do I see it? All right, so Hector is here. Hey Hector, hey buddy. How are things moving on? So did you buy it at the dip? Let me make it bigger. I'm gonna make the chat bigger so we can see. Just moving things around, guys. Just give me a minute here. Awesome. So yeah, get those chat coming in, get those comments coming in. It's super exciting with all these developers trying to make, and they've started to develop Dogecoin one more time into a robust product. Okay. And improving the synchronization speed, reducing the default mempool, and that's really what is happening. Okay, so big man, thank you so much. Appreciate you subscribing and get that support coming in. It's really helpful and it's super exciting as we move forward with this. Hector, yeah, you bought it. Awesome, man. This is great. It's something that's super exciting, and I did too, by the way. And this price kind of dropped while I was streaming yesterday. That was cool. And I had to kind of take a moment and just hit the buy button on the side here, right? So just kind of shuffling between two computers. So definitely a big thing. And these Dogecoin developers releasing these changes, getting the product ready for the breakout. Why do you want to do performance improvements to a product, right? I've been in software development as an enterprise architect, as a DevOps engineer, as a consultant, working on the DevOps pipeline, for example, getting those applications out, making those applications efficient, right? Creating automated pipelines. That's what I do within the IT world. So why would you want to make developers want to make important performance improvements? Well, it's just simple. It's easy. Okay. So, and the reason why we do it is to make the product efficient, right? So that when you actually use the product, use Dogecoin, right? In terms of transacting in Dogecoin, right? That's the bottom line. It improves the product robustness, right? And that's what we're looking at. That's exactly what the deal is here with these developers. So, and this increase in price, by the way, because Dogecoin, by the way, remember, back in January, it was at 0.003, and it has grown 1,000% in just 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months, which is awesome. So, and these developers are definitely incentivized, right? Why not? To make the technology more robust and better, more effective, more efficient. So Dogecoin rally has definitely revived Dogecoin development, right? Now, of course, people are thinking, well, I'm thinking too, but for how long are these developers going to stop just by this release? Well, definitely not. If they are incentivized and they're making this product robust, more and more are going to team up together, and that's what they are, and take it to the next level, because this Dogecoin is basically as an inflationary design is in the long run, right? So that's going to be the people's cryptocurrency. And the developers, by the way, have gotten better insight into the performance software they've written, which has basically triggered them to improve, like where we can, both short and long term. So not just for this particular update and it's done. That's not the case. Okay, it's going to continue and it's just like with anything. Like I remember I was doing development, for example. You come up with a product and as a finished product, right? And once it's finished and people start to use it, it's just a sense of achievement, right? Like, wow, this is great, man. This is something that I created or I contributed, and then people are using it and they're liking it, right? And if I change to that product, if I make some additional changes to the code to make it even better, guess what? People are going to like it better, and that increases the motivation. Why not? That's how it works. So the all-time highs for like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other tokens, Dogecoin kind of remained something of a black sheep so far, right, of the crypto family. Even though it's at the 14th ranking cryptocurrency on the chart, but it's really at 0.05, just 5 cents, just that low as compared to the prices of other cryptocurrency. With all this development, with all this new things coming up, it is positioned to definitely break out and increase in price over time. So it rallied almost, like I mentioned, if you go back a little while ago, almost 2,000% in the last 12 months or so. Yet it's still widely regarded as a cryptocurrency that is now getting mainstream news, getting into enterprise companies accepting it, and Elon Musk backing it up. I'm sure he's thinking something, right? He's not just backing it up, so he has something going on. Whenever you think about something, something's happening, right? But even if it still carries a reputation so far of Dogecoin as being just about to take off, right? The recent rally has a positive effect. and that is, of course, the developers, right? Some degree of development work on this crypto, which was originally forked from Litecoin, right? I think that's where it was forked from originally, which was the Litecoin was forked from Bitcoin, right? So eventually, of course, Bitcoin being the leading cryptocurrency, but that's a high price for Bitcoin. Okay, so the idea is that, you know, price rises and the development, of course, also rises. Okay, and about a year ago, by the way, the price of Dogecoin, if you remember, it was 0.0026, right? And it's at 0.05. That's about a couple of thousand% return, and that's super exciting. Okay, so yeah, welcome back, guys. Appreciate your support. Make sure you hit the like button. And where's my jar? I forgot my jar today. This is our subscriber jar. Let's see if I can find it quick. There we go. So if you see it, make sure you subscribe, guys. Appreciate your support. This is super exciting. Talking about the Dogecoin developers being added again with the minor update, but important updates. The two important updates that they've come up with is improving the synchronization speed, the CPU, right, cycles, and then reducing the default mempool expiry time. And I've explained that in depth of what those are, apart from other changes. Okay, so let's go back to our release notes. And they've also increased the block download timeouts. Okay, and these timeouts are, you know, the reason why they did this is because to make it more flexible to the real world conditions. And of course, they added other parameters as well, made some other changes. Okay, some minor changes, they've listed those, but the important ones that I just talked about, the rest of them are a little technical, some are technical. And of course, thanks to everyone who directly contributed to this release. And these are the names, these are the guys, right? This is the list, guys. These are the people who you know, we're super thankful to, who are actually decided to work on Bitcoin. So yep, kudos, and you know, good news for all these people, right? Good wishes. All right, so we're talking about the notable changes that the developers did in the latest release, which is, I believe, 1.14.3. Okay, and of course, this was released about 9 hours ago on Sunday. This was Sunday when they released it. Okay, and what this release does, that it can be installed over an existing 1.14 installation seamlessly without the need for uninstalling first and then reinstalling. Okay, all right, great. So we're talking about the Dogecoin new release. Developers are working on it. This is super exciting. Let me see if I can get some comments here. All right, price pump, perfect. And also let me know in comments whether you bought Dogecoin at the dip, because that was a great thing to do, or great opportunity, I should say. Of course, not a financial advisor, but definitely something that we've been researching. We've been talking about it for the entire week. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to this, make sure you subscribe, because on this channel we're going to talk specifically about Dogecoin. And I also, you know, created an Excel spreadsheet that I shared on Saturday, right, over the weekend, that, you know, we covered the entire week. We took a look at the average prices of Dogecoin, the profitability, and how the portfolio is moving. And for next week, starting, of course, we are going to be maintaining the same spreadsheet. So if you do need access to that, definitely shoot me a message, let me know, and I'll be happy to share that so we can kind of work on this together. So yeah, get those comments coming in. Appreciate your likes, by the way. So yeah, love the constant updates. Sanosuke, welcome back, guy. What's up? You're giving us, appreciate you 100%. Always give out good info and news updates. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And that's really what my purpose is. Not to just, you know, talk about the price or whatever. It's just to give you solid news updates, detailed. So we as investors, we as individuals who are into this, and of course my background is into IT and of course business, both. So that kind of, you know, helps me understand things a little better, right? And I've been at it. I've a bachelor's degree in finance, even though I'm in IT. So I've best of both worlds. So definitely, thank you so much. I appreciate your comments, and that's real good motivation for me, right? So thanks again for all the support. So Dogecoin price pump is going to go up. Definitely. Look at all this news. Look at the developer, right? So Neeraj is asking, is it going to go up in the price? Well, every single time, even in normal software development practices, when you're developing a software, when you're coming up with a new version, new update, just like your Apple iPhone or any other updates software that you'd see, by the way, right? Why are these being improved? That's the simple question, right? Why do companies improve their software? Well, guess what? To make it better. Well, better in comparison, in relative to what? Better in relative to other cryptocurrency, right? Or other coins. That's the only reason. First. Second important reason why developers make updates, right, is the fact to make it easier for users. All right? Think about it. Performance improvements. These are the key words. So users can easily and make this product a robust product. But the question is, Dogecoin, it's not happening. Like right now, if I were to order something, I cannot order in Dogecoin, right? That's a valid question. So this product is going to be implemented. For example, I talked about MasterCard CEO, right? Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, he mentions that he's looking for, or their organization is looking for, a stable currency so that they can incorporate that within their own infrastructure. So instead of just using your credit card in transacting in dollars, right? For example, in the United States, you are going to be transacting in Dogecoin, for example, right? That could be the case. So the CEO of MasterCard, they have about over 3 billion users in the world, MasterCard, right? That's a huge user base. So if they were to implement Bitcoin, and we know that Bitcoin is deflationary, right? It has a cap. There's only limited supply. The other option is Dogecoin. It's inflationary design, and I covered that in the yesterday stream, so go check that out if you have not. You want to know details about how Dogecoin is inflationary and how is it better, how inflation is better. I talked about I touched base on the economic updates too yesterday, so go check that out. And that's the idea. So these organizations, these large enterprise organizations, global organizations, if they were to implement Dogecoin, well, definitely this product needs to be performing better for them to, accepting it, right? They want to evaluate the code. They want to evaluate everything. And that's real motivation for these developers. And again, these are great improvements. So, and all of this leads to eventually, right? Of course, maybe not right now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a month from now, but definitely in the long run, improves the performance of the product, improves the price. That's really what this is all about. And it's just a matter of time, by the way, guys, when Dogecoin gets accepted, by these companies. So right now, Dogecoin is at, let's go to the price here, 0.048, okay? So there was a dip yesterday. It was a great time to buy. And of course, I bought it, and many of you guys also bought it. This is exciting. This is great. And of course, we're going to hold it, right? So it's 0.048. That's the current price. All right, so let's go to the Reddit community. That was an exciting development on Reddit too. I want to cover this quickly, where the actual developers posted the Dogecoin Core 1.14.3 update. Okay, so, and they said, we've just released a new version of Dogecoin Core, which we can download from GitHub, by the way. And this is a minor update that includes important performance improvements. That's exactly what we just talked about, right? And strongly recommended update for everyone. That's super cool. Okay. The two most important improvements, and again, we talked about this already in depth, right, is the improved synchronization speed, the transactions, right, being synchronized. It's already, the design of Dogecoin is already, by the way, if you go back about 3-4 days ago, I covered is Dogecoin better than Bitcoin, right, in design. So we talked about that too, some of the technical aspects of Dogecoin. The transaction time of a Dogecoin is about a minute, less than a minute. What that means is, what does that mean, right? Whereas in Bitcoin, it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes, right? Let me tell you exactly what that means. That means that if you were to go right now to Starbucks to buy coffee, right? And you're standing at the counter and you say, hey, I need some coffee, and you get some coffee, okay? And the guy gives you coffee. Now, when you pay in Dogecoin for that cup of coffee, okay, the time required for that transaction to settle is going to be less than a minute, okay? So you pay in Dogecoin, the other person, other side of the counter is going to take your payment, verify it, and that's going to be verified in less than a minute. Kind of makes sense, right? Now think about it. I go to Starbucks, I pay in Bitcoin. The Bitcoin's transaction verification time in the blockchain is 10 minutes. Guess what? I'm not going to be standing there for 10 minutes drinking my coffee and waiting for the transaction to get processed and get verified. Okay, so therefore, Bitcoin is a different beast. It's a different ball game. Whereas Dogecoin is easy, less than a minute. And that's exactly what these developers have done. They've improved the synchronization speed. Okay, so one of the first important improvements are improving synchronization speed. Okay, that helps. That significantly improves the speed at which a particular node can upload blocks, right? And it removes these integrity checks that are expensive, that were performed each time a block is sent to another. Okay, so, and that's what they've done. Okay, so now you know exactly where Dogecoin is positioned, and that's why large companies like MasterCard and even Amazon, we talked about that last week. If you want to go check out that stream, it's right there. Even at Amazon, we're petitioning. If you go to change.org, I think I just remembered, change.org, people are petitioning Amazon to to accept Dogecoin as method of transaction and payments, because again, it's a people's currency, guys. Remember, that's the position, and the transaction time is less than a minute. So even if you were to buy something at Amazon, it'll be verified in less than a minute, your transaction, right? Which is great. So if that's the case, if more and more organizations start to accept Dogecoin, definitely the price is going to go up. That's the idea in the long run. So if you, it's already up, by the way, 2,000% since last year, and 1,000% the last 2 months. That's what the price is. All right, so let's get those comments coming in. Appreciate your support, appreciate your help. Make sure you do subscribe to this channel. All right, so how much will this developers news help Dogecoin? So Anders Rico is asking. Well, it's definitely going to help, because every time, once again, you work on a product to improve a software product, what's the underlying reasons, guys, right? So that we can make the product better and better and better for users, right? So it's basically the bottom line is the users, because you develop software for a particular user base, so that once the users use it, it's easier for them. Okay, and that's what is happening here. So this developer news help Dogecoin? Definitely. Well, if not right now, if not tomorrow, but in the long run, it will. But guess what? If this product becomes mainstream, has people's cryptocurrency, awesome, man, then there's nothing stopping it. Okay, it is going to the moon. It is still going to the moon. That's what we believe, right? And again, that's my own personal opinion, my own research and strategies that I've been using. So of course, you're welcome to use your own portfolios, but I'm just walking through this, and this is a great community. I appreciate your subscribing, appreciate your support. So yeah, hit the like button. This is great. All right, some more comments. PapG asking if Robin does what they say and give everyone their own crypto wallets, would this increase the price of the 7 cryptos they trade now? Excellent question. I covered this, by the way, 3 days ago, excuse me. Okay, so right now when you buy at Robinhood, excuse me, You don't get your own keys, right? You don't get to own your own private keys. They don't give you the keys. That means they're the boss, okay? Whereas ideally you want to have your own wallets, okay? Whether it's a software-based wallet or a hardware-based wallet like Nano Ledger S, okay? And I'll show you that too. I'll do a stream and we'll talk about wallets and maybe in a separate topic. But yes, that's definitely what you want to do. It's highly recommended, guys, that you want to have your own ledger keys. You want to have your own wallet with you all the time, okay? Just like you have it in your pocket, right? When we go out there, we have wallets, right? To hold paper currency, fiat money. Same thing. You want to have this little Ledger Nano S wallet, or maybe in your app, if it's a software-based wallet or a hardware-based wallet. There are two types. So if Robinhood gives everyone their own crypto wallets, that's going to be great. That's going to be huge, by the way, okay? And that's definitely going to impact the price. So any of these developments, whether it's the from the developer side or whether it's an organization trying to come up with their accepting Dogecoin, is just excellent news, okay? So let's go through some of these comments. Thanks, devs. Appreciate all your hard work. Well, we all do, definitely. Thumbs up. Kudos to all these developers who are working on Dogecoins, right? Coming up with these updates, making performance considerations. So we certainly appreciate all these developers, right? All right, so, and more to come. More developments are, of course, to come. Once they start, this is going to be more developments. And of course, you can see the entire discussion within this particular thread, right? It's an important thread you want to keep track of, right? All right. And again, I'm not going to cover all these comments, but you get the idea that the two important improvements that Dogecoin developers did were improved synchronization speed, and they reduced the default mempool expiry time. And both of them are significant, in my opinion. If you're a software developer, you would know that these type of changes in your application code certainly improves the product. And if the product gets improved, it is going to help every one of us, okay? The developers are in it too. We're in it, right? So the entire community, the entire product itself is positioned to become a people's cryptocurrency, and that's what Elon Musk has been supporting. And we saw that last week by several tweets coming in, 4 or 5, and that got him into trouble too, by the way. He's talking to SEC or the regulatory watchdogs are asking him questions like, why are you backing Dogecoin so much, right? You're making the price go up and down. But that's not really the case. We've seen the Dogecoin price, if I bring that up, it's kind of been stable for the entire week, right? It's going sideways right about at the 0.04, 0.05, 0.055, somewhere around there, right? So that's been the range. It just dropped yesterday from 0.048 to of course a little bit down. Let me in fact open up the Binance chart. I just remembered. Let me see if we can open that up quick, and I'll get that to you so you can actually see, and we'll take a look at the chart a little bit in depth about the candlesticks, and also do some technical analysis maybe sometimes next week. Definitely we'll talk about the Fibonacci aspects, and then of course a couple other tools that I'll share once we move forward. So let me pull this up. This is Dogecoin, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen. So yeah, welcome guys. Make sure you subscribe, you hit the like button, hit the bell notification, get those comments coming in. So I appreciate your help, I appreciate your support. This is great. So let's see if I can all right, comments while this is coming up. Can Dogecoin survive if the whale's wallet keep pumping and dumping, or do the whales, one of the Elon Musk, because he doesn't this Dogecoin to be majority of it to be decentralized, right? So more and more people are actually using this currency on a regular basis. All right, just like, thank you, appreciate it. Arkham, awesome guys, you've been great, and this certainly helps quite a bit working together. So let me bring up Binance. That's what I was looking to do. I have it up here. There we go, perfect. So you see it, and this is, by the way, the chart, right? So it's at 4.048. That's about the same level it has been in a while. Let me bring up the real-time price. Yep, that's where it is at. Okay, 0.047. Is this a good buy even at this price? Well, if you compare it from last week where it was 0.05, right? 0.055, I would say, yeah, I mean, still, as long as it's in the 0.04s, I would consider it as a good buy. I bought it at 0.043, 0.044, right? That's what I bought it at, my average cost. And we talked about that too, by the way, okay? So you want to watch closely where you like to buy it. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, guys, but it's something that you want to be able to do at your own and kind of take a look at what your buying strategy is. And of course, I always recommend buying it at your limit. So make sure you place a limit order and not a spot order, because end of the day, when you actually purchase, there may be a little slight price increase if you buy a spot order, right? So I'll cover that later on too, and I think I covered that last week too. But this is super exciting news for Dogecoin. The developers have started to work on this, and that's what they're working on, and that's the idea. So Dogecoin is actually getting into a position where it's going to be a robust type of currency. It's going to be a people's currency, and of course long run, and that's what we are hoping, that it stays it grows and stabilizes itself before it actually breaks out. And these are all signs, by the way, for Dogecoins to break out. All right, so yeah, welcome back, guys. So if you're new, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. I appreciate your support. This is awesome. I've created this channel specifically to talk about cryptocurrency and primarily for Dogecoin. I've been at it all the time, and every time there's a news update, there's a solid news update that helps the product, that helps Dogecoin, you are the first one to know on this channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification. All right. So, and that's really the idea. So these developers are also working on this, and the reason why developers are working on it, because they're incentivized, right? There's some kind of incentive. Okay, and that's important, because if developers have started to work on a product, they're going to make this product better for who? Better for us, right? Better for people, better for users. And that's the bottom line. So if users and of course the transaction time is less than a minute, which itself is Dogecoin's great asset. It's a great asset for Dogecoin. It's a great differentiating factor as compared to Bitcoin, which is 10 minutes, and I've covered that. Okay, and I also gave a simple example. Simple example. You go buy something, you're gonna wait for the transaction to be completed before you can actually get that product and get out of the shop, right? And with Dogecoin, if you buy, it's less than a minute. With Bitcoin, it's 10 minutes. You're going to be standing there 10 minutes, wait for the transaction to get verified. And then, the owner of the shop is going to say, all right, thank you very much. It's been verified. Thanks for waiting 10 minutes. Okay. So guess what? When you go to a shop, you don't want to wait, right? You order something through drive-through. You don't want to wait. You want that product. You want that food right now. Okay. And with Dogecoin, it's less than a minute. And with these these improvements within the product, that's super exciting. Okay, so the developer update is great. All right, so again, this is going to help the Dogecoin to be positioned in a solid manner, and that's exactly what we see as the price. So next week, by the way, I know some of you asked me what's the outlook for next week. Well, with this news update, right, and the product goes up and more companies see it, right, they evaluate it, I'm also going to cover, by the way, I just remembered, in the United States, the government is working on digital dollar. Okay, I'm going to cover that too later on, but just to give you a little bit out. Digital dollar, right? It's like cryptocurrency, and they're working with MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, right? And they're developing their own blockchain. Well, they were asked, the Federal Reserve chairman or some top guy was asked, I recall watching it. I'm going to make another stream later on too about just this, that whether they're going to use the peer-to-peer public blockchain. And he said, well, they're still evaluating, right? So they're looking at what areas that they want to work on, which digital currency and what type of network they want to evolve and create. So the federal government in the United States is working with the MIT. There's one of the programs called the Digital Dollar. Go look that up, and you'll see it's called digitaldollar.org, I believe, something like that, right? So yeah, just Google it up, you'll see it. So what is that all about? So the government in the United States, they're thinking of their own digital currency, vis-a-vis paper US dollar, okay? Now what that means is, of course, then they need to have an underlying network. And if they use the blockchain network peer-to-peer, of course, they cannot control it, they cannot regulate it per se, okay? So the government is working, of course, the MIT has teamed up with them, and they're working on developing their own blockchain, some kind of technology, okay? They don't even know yet, we don't know. But they will come up with some kind of infrastructure where they can regulate the digital dollar or digital currency. So, and think about this, where are we moving, right? In future, what's the future holding for us? What's the future? It's digital currency, no doubt, absolutely no doubt, okay? That's one thing I can say for sure. Again, don't hold me to it. I'm not giving you any financial advice. I'm just talking about how I feel, the moving forward, especially with the newer generation. They are into this big time. So the government is working on, the digital dollar. I'm going to cover this in depth later on too. And that's what they're working on, okay? And if that's the case, guess what? They're going to be regulating the actual cryptocurrency, digital currency. And we also know that Coinbase, that was last week, they announced to go public on NASDAQ, IPO. They're going to issue, initial public offering for them. And that's an exchange, that's a crypto exchange, guys. At Coinbase, you can buy, sell cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and so on. Just like you can do it in Binance and Robinhood and all these exchanges. So one of the exchanges goes, public. Well, I covered this already. So go check that stream out last week. But that really means that, what the government is going to regulate. It's already regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. All these exchanges, anyone who goes to NASDAQ or goes public, they are regulated. So if Coinbase gets regulated and gets on this regulatory framework, guess what? The cryptos being traded on these platforms, right, are also going to be regulated to some extent. And how does that benefit us as investors, as retailers, right? Well, the regulations simply protect you, right? That's the main concept behind regulations. So, all right, let's quick comments here. I want to see those. Wow, great. Keep those comments coming up. I appreciate that. Government wants to do peer-to-peer. They wouldn't be able to control it. Yeah, definitely. If they go on the blockchain itself, they're not going to be able to control it, right? So therefore, they're kind of working with MIT, and I'm going to cover this. They're going to be working with MIT to come up with their own type of blockchain. I don't know what that is. They don't know. They're working on it, right? And if they do, they will then issue a digital currency. And that means that you'll be able to buy and sell using digital dollar, right? Digital currency. Well, cryptocurrency is already there. Dogecoin is already here. Okay? And that's exactly what this is. All right. Pap Giorgio, Elon Musk said, we'll let the retailers buy stock first for Starlink when it goes IPO instead of letting the big elites buy first. Interesting. That's great. Thanks for this comment. So look at where Elon Musk is going with this, right? He wants the retailers to buy Starlink first, right? When he goes public with the Starlink. And Starlink, by the way, is a satellite-based network that gives internet access to everyone across the globe, right? That's what it is. So that's, Elon Musk is a visionary, and we know this, right? He has proven himself to be the same. Okay. So if that's the case, that's a great comment. Thanks for that. If he offers his Starlink stock to retailers first, right? And that's awesome. Guess what? Right after that, if Elon Musk says, all right, guys, let's, take Dogecoin and have these retailers pay or, their subscription fees to Starlink in Dogecoin. Oh my goodness, that's going to be awesome, right? And that could happen. Maybe that's why he's, behind, advocating for Dogecoin. He has a plan. Why wouldn't he? Okay. And why shouldn't he? Because there's so many parts in the world, of course, that they don't have access to the bank. They don't physically have to go to the bank just to make a cashier's check, guys. You have to go to the bank. You have to wait. You have to take an appointment. It's just too long. All right, come on, things have changed. We want to transact. We want everything right now. We don't want to go to the bank. And we've seen the disruptive technology. Excuse me. And we've seen, right? This technology is there to disrupt. And for the last, a decade or so, we've seen disruption in different softwares. And cryptocurrency is, by the way, excuse me, software-based currency. It's nothing but code. And that's what we see, the developers trying to make this code better and better. And since it's decentralized, that's awesome. Okay? All right, so yeah, welcome back, guys. Appreciate it. Dogecoin to the moon. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button and the bell notification so you get the latest and greatest news and updates that actually impacts Dogecoin moving forward in the long run. All right, some more comments. Tesla, Starlink to the moon. Yeah, he's already shipping rockets to the moon, Elon Musk. He is. It's happening right now. And that's true. Okay? That's a fact. It's just a matter of time where, organizations like Starlink or Tesla or neural networks or, these are, again, Elon Musk, owns all of them. And other, like MasterCard, we talked about Amazon, we talked about other, there's so many. And if, Dogecoin gets to be accepted as people's currency because of its inflationary design and because of its, lower transaction settlement time, which is less than a minute, it is positioned to be one of the, most suitable, stable currency out there. Okay, and I cannot say this enough. It's right now at number 14 on the rank, and it's really, really low. It's at 0.05, and we see that from the price ticker here on Binance, and it kind of went down yesterday. It was a perfect time to buy, and of course I bought it. I have multiple trading platforms set up, so yeah, definitely. So you want to be able to check that out for yourself. And here's that dip that we just experienced yesterday on Sunday. Okay, so moving forward next week, the outlook is exciting. It's fantastic. We're certainly hoping for Dogecoin to kind of go up, but really once it gets more accepted by companies across the globe, by larger organizations, this is going to be even higher. So Dogecoin to the moon means Dogecoin to $1 to maybe 10 cents first, and then hitting $1 sometime this year or next couple of years. Either way, it's a long term, just like Bitcoin was. Okay, so you want to be able to keep a track on your own portfolio, and that's exactly what we talk about. So these are the current prices for Dogecoin. So it's at 0.0482, right? That's what it is right now. That's about the same as it was 0.05. That was the stable position, right? So every time there's a dip, there's a market correction, for example. And by the way, the entire crypto market was sort of down yesterday too. For example, Bitcoin, you see, was at 46,000. It came down from 58,000. And we also did an analysis in I believe it was Saturday, right? That was one of the streams when we actually recapped the entire week. So definitely you don't want to miss the weekends streams that I have, because we talk about the entire past week's analysis of news, and of course the prices and the averages in an Excel spreadsheet. So hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, guys, so you get the latest and greatest news. So what we did in that Excel analysis was simply understand the like the profitability if I were to invest in Bitcoin versus investing in Dogecoin. What we found was that Dogecoin performed 50% better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, now I'm going to cover ADA too. I'm not touching ADA at this point. This is another nice one to have and talk about. Maybe I'll create another video on this, and of course I'm into this as well, but primarily Dogecoin, right? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the Dogecoin developer news. Let me see. That's where we are. So it's the two important development news that developers have done to Dogecoin. Of course, the first being improving the synchronization speed, okay, at which a node can upload blocks, and the second one is reducing the default mempool expiry time. These are the two major ones, okay, and the changes rather to their latest code. So let me bring that up quick so we can see. All right, so it's almost as some billionaires are keeping Dogecoin stable enough to prevent the whales from making big spikes dips and hopefully get them out. It's true, could be. That's a good idea. Why not? And that could be the case, because definitely as more and more people or companies, organizations start to accept Dogecoin, this is going to be the case, right? And Lee comments, this good thing I notice about Doge is that it's seemingly adjusting as time progresses, and even with no cap. Yeah, that's a great point. This is exactly what Dogecoin is. It's inflationary in design, right? There's no cap. That's why we have a lot of supply of Dogecoin, right? And therefore the prices are keeping low, okay? So, and even with no cap, as if now people seem to not accept, that could easily change if they choose to. Yeah, great point. That's how it is. And we are going to be accepting Doge. Why not? Back to my example of the transaction time. You pay something in Dogecoin, it's going to be transacted, settled in less than a minute. So let's say if you're shopping online, you're grocery shopping, you're buying food, coffee, shopping, whatever it is, okay? It's easier for Dogecoin. Okay, it's easier. All right, Hector says a better breed of Doge. Developers release new core with faster sync speed. Yeah, definitely, no doubt. So and they may even go higher. They may even develop even a more robust and keep making these development changes. It's going to make the product more and more efficient, right? And that will be the acceptance criteria for any organization who wants to accept Bitcoin, or offer Bitcoin rather, to its customers. Just like I mentioned, MasterCard, Visa, Amazon, all these big companies, right? If they were to accept Dogecoin, they need a product that kind of suits their requirement, right? And that's easier for their customer base to accept too, because bottom line, by the way, for any organization, it's the customers, it's their clients. You want to be able to listen to your client, right? So if Amazon customers or MasterCard, Visa customers, right, which are in billions, right, or MasterCard has a little over 3 billion customers, if those customers, say, well, Dogecoin is a new offering by MasterCard, because the CEO of MasterCard is looking for a stable currency, okay? And Bitcoin, as compared to Dogecoin, and we saw that, right? Dogecoin definitely outperforms Bitcoin as being a people's currency in terms of its technical design. And of course, economic design also, okay? And I covered that, why inflation is better. Go check that stream out yesterday. And I'm going to premiere that because, remember, I forgot to make it public yesterday, so I recorded it. And I was thinking, well, geez, no comments are coming in. Where are all these guys? What's happening? And just later on found out when I ended the stream that I made it private. So I uploaded that, guys. You're gonna see it. So you can kind of hit the bell notification on that, so you can, as soon as it premieres, you can kind of take a look at that too, where I talk about the deflation and the inflation designs of cryptocurrencies. And that's an important area too, because Bitcoin is a deflationary coin, whereas Dogecoin is an inflationary coin, right? So that's exactly what we're talking about. All right. So 5 billion Pap comments, 5 billion Dogecoin can be mined every year. So if Doge was $1, it would take about 26 years to mine those coins, enough coins to lower the price in half. Doge is perfect world's currency. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And this is exactly what the analysis shows. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is exactly where it's positioning itself. So definitely it's the people's currency where it's going to be used. Just a matter of time, by the way. And if one organization, this is the catalyst, right? This is the tipping point. If one large organization like MasterCard, Amazon, or any other organization starts to offer Dogecoin as a people's crypto, guess what? There's no stopping, guys. There's no stopping. The entire world is going to follow suit because this is going to be a benefit for the users. The bottom line is the user, us, right? That's exactly what it is. So technology, the real technology, the advantage of technology is to make your life easier, right? That's why we have technology, guys. That's what technology does, okay? And the last decade or so, the technology has been not only making things life easier for everyone, it's actually being disruptive, all right? And we see that. Look at Amazon. Look at the cloud computing. I remember, right, getting into Windows back in early 90s when I was actually, as a certified Microsoft systems engineer. Back in those days, I was physically, working with physical servers. There was no cloud. There was no internet, guys, all right? So I was there when the internet just, came out of ARPANET. This was a government, secret network. And then if you look at the history of the internet, right? So when the internet was actually born in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, right? It was just initially a network where only, colleges, professors could share ideas. That was the deal, right? Information sharing. But look what has, become. So technology is the key, not only making life easier, but disruptive technology. That means the current systems in place, whether you're in the healthcare industry, whether in the tech industry, whether it's you're in the, the fintech space, or whatever you are, it is disrupting everything. It has disrupted the last decade, okay? And people are more inclined towards making their lives easier, and that's natural. You cannot stop that, okay? And that's exactly what this is. So the idea behind technology being disruptive, excuse me, how does that relate to Dogecoin? Well, I see Dogecoin, and that's, again, my personal opinion, I see it as being a disruptive coin, as a people's currency. That's just disruptive. Whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are two different, beasts, right? Different mindset, different objectives. But Dogecoin, the way it was designed, and the founders of Dogecoin basically kept it as an inflationary design, as a people's currency. So this currency is going to, be tied to the global, outlook or global growth. Okay, and that's important. You're going to be seeing Dogecoin as a standardized cryptocurrency accepted all across the globe. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And that's coming. That's just a matter of time. Okay, that's just a matter of time. All right, let's pick up on some comments. Arkham, do you think the SEC investigation is real? And yeah, Elon Musk was called because he was tweeting about Dogecoin, and SEC asked him, right? So that he's still being investigated. So let's see what the outcome is. But personally, well, he likes the coin, so what? Okay, and he just doesn't like it. By the way, we all like it too, but we just don't like it. We need to ensure that it's actually a robust cryptocurrency. It's designed to give out a purpose. It's a benefit to the users. Okay, and that's really what this currency is. It's going to give users a benefit of not only transacting less than a minute, but also global base. Okay, with Elon Musk, like I know there was a comment earlier about Starlink IPO being initially just offered to retailers, right? Well, guess what? These retailers, what if Elon Musk purchases Dogecoin, right? What happens? Just like he purchased Bitcoin, $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And Elon Musk is offering these whales, by the way, literally money to buy anyways, right? So if you've been following last week's streams and our discussion, Elon Musk is actually working on this, right? He's already offered these whales, and that's what's happening right now. Okay, that's why Dogecoin, you'll see the price is kind of stabilized at 0.048, 0.05, 0.55. It's something within the same range for the entire week. So, and when that happens, it's a perfect storm, right? Perfect place for a breakout. Okay, and that's what's happening. So let's see how next week will go, and I'm going to of course cover it every single day. So yeah, thanks for your support, guys. I appreciate you subscribing, liking, and hitting the bell notification. That's real helpful. So, and get those comments coming in. So yeah, all right, let's take a look at some more. Technically, they can't do anything to Elon Musk. Well, we're talking about the SEC being investigating Elon Musk because the deal with stocks, not crypto coins. Dogecoin is not up to investment stocks, so they're barking up the wrong tree. Yeah, well, yeah, again, it's just I see it the same way, pretty much, because it's just tweets and anyone can do it, right? So it's no big deal. Okay, so if that helps the price go up and down, but really, Elon Musk has not been tweeting for the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, right? But look at the price; it's still stabilized. Okay, so Dogecoin is holding up on its own, guys. He doesn't need, the Dogecoin doesn't need. This Doge dog doesn't need anything, right? So he has his own strong footing. But what this currency needs is the developers, and that's the breaking news that we're talking about here. Are the 2 major improvements that the developers have done to this particular currency. So I'm going to bring that up just so that we can see. Or in fact, we did talk about that, so it's already up here. So the 2 notable changes, once again, just to summarize quick, is reducing the CPU usage during sync. So when loading block headers to send to a peer-to-peer network, the block is basically revalidated by these developers by calculating its proof of work, which is the algorithm. Okay, and the other performance consideration improvement that the developers did to this is reducing the default mempool expiry time from all the way from 336 hours to bringing it down to 24 hours, right? And why they did this is because the blocks are empty, unreliable TX are stuck in mempools for a long time, so they want to fix that part, and they did. Okay, so block download times, by the way, or timeouts, are also expressed as a multiple block interval. And the reason why the developers are working at this is so that the increase and the timeouts to be more flexible to real world conditions, right? Real world transactions, real world scenarios. And of course, there's some other additional minor changes that they also did. For example, locale independent sorting, corrections to the Italian translation, for example, update package links for OS X cross compilation, and numerous fixes to automated tests, and of course numerous fixes to documentation. So yeah, thank you guys, thank you dev team. They've been great, and we certainly appreciate their efforts into bringing this currency live, right? They're pumping in oxygen to Dogecoin, right? Getting, feeding this dog. That's what we're looking at, right? Taking care of it, and that's the idea. So definitely, this is great changes that they've done to the Dogecoin product, making it more robust as we move forward, and is positioning itself to be the currency that people are going to use on a daily basis. The federal government in the United States, of course, they're talking about digital dollar, right? Coming up with their own digital dollar. Well, that's fine too, and that kind of work. But they're not using they're thinking of not using the blockchain, that's underlying blockchain that Bitcoin uses and other crypto uses. They're working with MIT to come up with their own kind of solution, right? So they can regulate it, and that's important for the government. That makes sense too, because they want to be able to regulate a cryptocurrency if they're offering it to the public, right? And by the way, if you recall, a few days ago, go check that stream out. We talked about the mayor of Miami, when he wants to implement Bitcoin to pay the city employees. Well, that's great, but the commissioners kind of waited on that or halted it, and the commissioners voted to first educate the community at large, right? To first educate people of what cryptocurrency is and how does it work, and what are the repercussions, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and so on, before they vote again, decide to implement Bitcoin as a form of payment. Well, maybe it's just Dogecoin, who knows? That's the idea. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at a few comments here. Thanks for these comments, by the way. Appreciate your support. This is awesome. Only 10% of Americans have cryptocurrency, right? Pap Giorgio, yeah. I think if you go to crypto.com, I covered that yesterday, where a little over 106 million users are actually using crypto globally, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we can verify that. But definitely very few people, comparatively speaking, are actually have cryptocurrency and using it, right? The idea is that moving forward, the future is what? The future is cryptocurrency, digital currency, digital dollar. That's all is happening, right? If the federal government of the United States, right, if the feds are working with the MIT team to develop a digital dollar, and they have a working paper already, you go to digitaldollar.org, check it out, and I'll probably do an in-depth analysis of that too next week sometime. We'll take a look at how that compares to Dogecoin, what the impacts would be, but we'll talk about that later, okay? But yes, this is happening. So future is definitely digital currency, okay? And as more and more individuals, and we are at the forefront, right? So this team that I have here, wonderful guys, thank you for your support. We are in this together, right? So we're moving every single day, slowly but surely. Next week we'll take a look at how this pans out, how this works, and where the Dogecoin prices are going. So definitely, and moving forward in the long run, if we are in this together, which we are, and I certainly appreciate your support, I certainly appreciate you subscribing and liking and being part of this channel. We'll grow together, and we'll see as we're looking right now, as we're progressing. So definitely. All right, so let's see what else. Katona, welcome. Buy, hold, buy, hold, buy, hold, buy, hold. Great. Dogecoin to the moon. That's exactly what we've been talking about last week, by the way, and that's a good strategy. We buy low. I bought it yesterday at a low price. It was 0.042, and of course back up to 0.04678. That's where it's at right now. Okay, so yeah, definitely. That's again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is something that I do my own research, and then we go with this, right? So Pap Giorgio, it just makes sense. It will save the country a ton of money, not having to mint and print money. Yeah, great comment, great thought. That's exactly what it is. And that's why technology is disruptive, guys, right? Because it's saving people money, right? Look at Uber, right? Look at all these other organizations, these companies. out of nothing. And we know, and you know, or you may not know, that Uber does not own a single vehicle on its own. It doesn't own anything, right? Look at all these marketplaces. So yeah, definitely, if the United States government or the other governments across the they stop physical paper printing money, it's going to save them billions, okay, millions or billions depending on the amount in circulation. So the government is going to save more money because, of course, they're still going to be getting these taxes. Of course, it still needs to be regulated, and that's really what the government on how to not only offer digital currency to public at large, to regulate it. Coffee at Starbucks and Dogecoin, we're going to be paying some tax going to go to the government. But that is all cooking, guys. Time to be part of this, okay? Just like Bitcoin, go back 7 years, 5 to 7 years in Bitcoin, you would have been a millionaire now, no doubt. Same thing with Dogecoin. We're buying at almost fraction of pennies right now. If it gets to be accepted as people's currency, it actually rises up to the occasion. That's what we're here for. That's what this stream is all about. So this is another thank you for all these developers who are putting in the effort to making this product robust, right? Making it more user-friendly, making it more easier for organizations to zoom in and take a look at this code and say, well, dude, that makes sense. This is a stable cryptocurrency which we can implement with ourselves, just like the CEO of MasterCard. So, and definitely, hey Donna, welcome. I appreciate you joining. So yeah, Donna says, let's all give a huge thanks to Elon Musk and the family of Dogecoin. Yes, we are the Dogecoin community, and definitely want to thank Elon. Definitely want to thank all who's supporting this coin. And that's the idea, right? I, for one, love this coin. So do I, Donna. So welcome to the club, and believe in a chance, definitely going up as a people's currency. Okay, and that's what we're after, and that's exactly what is happening. So yeah, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and of course, don't forget to like if you enjoy this content. And I enjoy your support. Thank you so much. Your support is real motivating for me to come up with these latest news and updates and give you a solid analysis of Dogecoin moving forward, and of course historical analysis too. So yesterday I did a stream on the inflationary design versus a deflationary design of cryptocurrencies, where Bitcoin being a deflationary and Dogecoin an inflationary, just the opposite, right? So these two are absolutely opposite. Therefore, they cater to a different subject, different group of users. Okay, they have their own customer base, or own investor base, or retail base, or even the actual usage. The whole goal of cryptocurrency moving forward is to actually make it so that we use it, right? So we put it to use, not just speculate and just make money on pumping and dumping, but actually make it mainstream. So apart from, of course, all the money that you make, right, on your portfolio, on your investments, but really advocating the strength, the future of currency, which is crypto. And of course, one of the comments that I just read earlier was that it's going to save governments a ton of money, when they're printing money, right? Physical paper currency is going to save you on paper. So if you are using less paper, guess what? Eventually that is helping the climate, right? Because the paper comes from trees, right? Pulp. Great point, isn't it, right? Yeah, definitely. So you want to be able to let your voice out, let the government know that the climate change is a big issue. Well, let's not cut down trees, right? Let's not make more paper. Let's go digital, guys. That's the future. Okay. So yeah, Pap Giorgio, less than 10 years, the United States of America is full crypto. My prediction. Yeah, I think so. Not just US. I think the entire world. That's going to be the case. It's going to be all crypto, digital currencies, digital dollars, digital euros, right? Digital yen and digital, every country is going to have one way or the other some form of currency, okay, or digital currency, and that's going to save companies a lot of money. It's just a matter of time where they come up with the regulatory framework, and they're actually improving the framework and making sure that users are paying taxes and how this kind of whole works, right? So they're working on it, actively working on it, every one of us, or the government rather. So the entire world will follow us? Definitely. Well, whoever the pioneer is, whoever comes up with this particular framework and gets adopted, that's how it is. That's how, look at all these, if you look at history, that's how it is, okay? So if something comes up, something disrupts it, people follow. And look at Amazon, guys. Cloud computing. We don't use physical hardware anymore, right? Or there's still hybrid infrastructure out there for companies. They're actually using physical hardware. But guess what? There are companies who are just gone online, cloud, totally. And people are working remotely. What more can you say? For example, I consult with these enterprise companies and I do it all remotely. I have access to their servers, I manage their servers, I do updates to their servers, everything is online. And these servers, I mean hardware, right? So look at the cloud computing, how it disrupted the entire IT space. Why? Because there's benefits associated to it. You don't have to, purchase an expensive equipment. You can just now spin up a server online with a fraction of a cost. That's Dogecoin, guys. That's exactly how we're moving forward with Dogecoin. Is positioning itself to be people's currency, having an inflationary design and also a low price at this point in time, and of course the interval time, the transaction interval. So these developers are certainly have come up with these two updates that I just talked about, and so yeah, definitely this is really, really great. So let me bring up the dev updates one more time quickly before I summarize and we end the stream here. But before I end, let me bring that up. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so the changes that the developers did: reduce the CPU time during sync and then reduce the default mempool expiry time. These are the two major updates that the dev team did. Okay, and this is super exciting. And the version that they released was I think it was right here. It's Dogecoin Core 1.14.3, right? And this is a new minor update that includes important performance improvements. Okay, and these are the improvements. So definitely in the long run, Dogecoin has positioned itself to be one of the people's cryptocurrency, and that's what we're hoping it to grow, and more organizations, if they start to accept it. This is super, super exciting. Okay, so let's see how next week pans out. We are going to, of course, every single day, since that I stream every single day, and we're going to keep track of how things are moving every single day moving forward, okay, for next week. And then we'll compare the previous week with our next week and see how our portfolio grows. I'll talk about that too, and we covered it in the Excel spreadsheet by looking at the values, the average costing, and those kind of things too, because we want to keep a track of our investments and what you're doing with Dogecoin. Looks like Doge is dipping for another buy. Yeah, definitely. So if you want to buy, that's a great place. Great time is when the prices are at a lower end. That's a good time to buy and hold. Of course, this is a long-term scenario. That's what we've been talking about, speculating. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. This is something that I do have been doing. So I do my strategic research, and of course the analysis, use different tools like moving averages. We talked about those. I'm going to also talk about Fibonacci, a little bit more technical tools that I'm going to provide next week. So that's my next week's agenda. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, so every time I talk about those, you're the first ones to kind of get on top, and apart from all the latest news and updates that I do regularly anyways, right? So yeah, thank you guys for the support. You've been awesome. and this is great. So do subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Of course, commenting is great. I see these comments as a means of support, so certainly appreciate your support. And I've placed links in the description, by the way, to some of the important things, so go check out the links in the description, whether you want to support or check out streams otherwise. And this is really and I'm super thankful to all of you. Okay, so yeah, good live chat, peace and love, everyone. Love you guys back. Awesome, thank you, and I will see you guys next time. Last comments. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Ali. Thanks, Donna. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. So I'll catch you guys later. Okay. Yeah. Just if you want to stick around, that's fine. Chit chat a little bit. I'm gonna go and grab a cup of coffee, and hopefully soon we'll be paying in Dogecoin. All right, guys. Take it easy. See you later.